We're gonna practice this setup for Superfly on the ground. And I know this seems really silly, but if we do it on the ground and feel it in our body and know that it's actually possible, then we can keep that same alignment and pivot point in the air. So we're gonna come down and lay on our bellies and pretend like we're super flying. And just notice what it would take in order to bring your arms straight out in front, stack. Notice what's working in your back. Notice and lift your feet now too. What are you pressing down in order to lift your head and lift your feet?
Your pelvis.
Your pelvis. Thank you. So that's the same thing we have to press down when we're in the air, because there is no ground to press into, right? So we're pressing our pelvis down this strong to lift up. Stack your bones. Where are your shoulders? If you don't stack here, you're not going to stack in the air. Yeah. You cannot do this in Superfly. You will immediately face pain. The strongest line is straight. Okay, so we have to get those nice long lines of energy. The same thing with a push-up. Put your hands in a push-up position right underneath your shoulders, right? In order to push up, you have to lift your upper body, right? If you don't lift your upper body, let your head be really heavy. Let your forehead touch down. Try to lift up. See, that's what people are doing in Superfly, which makes it very uncomfortable to try to lift up. The only way you can lift up is to press your pelvis down, arch and open, right? So it's the same thing. Your pelvis is pressing down for you to lift up, as well as your arms pushing it to the ground, and you have to arch. So we're gonna do that in the swing now. So press back into a child's pose, just the stretch in the opposite direction. Balance it out. And then slowly roll up. Like, look, we were actually on the ground for something. Felt really weird, right? It's a little more fun in this thing.
It feels harder.
It feels flat, but it's okay. We still love the ground. It's just flat. Okay, so part 2 of our preparation looks like this. Just watch me for the first round and we'll do it together. And we're gonna go into an entire sequence for the shoulders tomorrow. But just this one part, I'm gonna show you how we prep for Superfly. I just try to see what would happen if we don't prep and what you guys can do. So if I grab the leg loops into my hands and I deep dive, what I'm gonna do is press, press, press to come up, okay? So I can do that with my hands under the shoulders, just like we just did in the ground, and I learn how to press my pelvis forward and keep my head in line with my body to press up. So it's the same thing with Superfly. We have to press, press, press to come up. Press, press, press to come up. So I'm gonna come into an elbow hook, and I'm gonna keep the swing nice and low on my hips. And it's the same position that we were having trouble with. This is a version of Archer. What I'm gonna have to do to get the leg loops on my shoulders, get my hair out of the way, is squeeze and lift. Squeeze and lift, that's where we got stuck, right? So from an elbow hang, I lift and arch through my heart, the same as if I was pushing into a cobra on the ground. So it looks like this with our feet on the ground. So that's with the feet hooked. From this position, you have to press on a diagonal and lift your chest, lift your gaze. If your head is hanging, that's what was happening in Archer, there's no way you can lift this. The same with putting your forehead on the ground. You have to press and lift at the same time. So let's just practice those little tidbits. We'll get into that full sequence tomorrow. But let's see how it goes. I'm gonna spray your mat so you have a little bit more grip, otherwise I got it. Otherwise we'll fly away. I wonder what happened to the music. Can we put that back on?
Oh, yeah. I think I just turned it down.
Okay. It's called Swing, which is the name of the sequence that we're doing. Fantastic. Yeah, we can go over there. I don't want to do that yet. Excellent. So I'm just going to spray the mat so we have a little extra grip so that way we don't fly away. It's just really helpful for this particular one because we have to really engage through our toes and press down. If we don't have the extra grip, we just have to really ground. So if you tend to fly away, it means that you're not grounding through your tailbone. So just keep that in mind, okay? Okay, so feet in the center of the mat, looking up always, looking up, right? Nothing down there, that's the first thing we do. dynamic tension from the tailbone to the crown of the head. We have a straight line of energy. Tailbone grounding down as we lift up. Then press the pelvis forward without looking down. See how that feels. Okay, you can look towards me. I'm just gonna go this way so we both have enough room. Okay, from this position, we're gonna go ahead. I'm actually gonna have to go this way. So let's all face the garage door so we have enough room, otherwise we're gonna kiss. Okay, thank you. So from this position, keep looking up, press the pelvis forward, reach back and grab the leg loops in your hands. Yeah, just see if you can get that. Keep pressing your pelvis forward, keep looking up, leg loops in your hands. Beautiful. From there, I want your crown of the head to reach the top of the room, right? So crown of the head towards the top of the room. Swim from side, swim your arms forward and back. Keep pressing forward with your pelvis, keep looking up, swim. Yeah, press your arms down strongly the whole time so it's lifting your chest. That's it, Deborah. Swim. Don't worry about the swing sliding up, it's gonna happen. Beautiful. Go ahead and slide into your elbows. Look at the elbows here. Can you keep your head lifted and your chest lifted even with the elbow hang? Slide into the elbows. Keep the pelvis pushing forward. Slide into the elbows even more, Deborah. Yeah. Now squeeze your hands together forward on a diagonal in order for the leg lifts to slide onto the shoulders. Press your pelvis forward. Lift your chest. Slide back into the elbows. Press your hips forward. Squeeze the leg loops onto the shoulders. Lift your chest. Lift your gaze. That's it. Slide back into the elbows. One more time. Okay. Now we're going to try and hook our feet. So walk your feet to the back of the mat. Walk it back. Keep pushing your hips forward. Lift your gaze. Yeah, hips forward. Lift your gaze. Lift your feet and hook them outside in. Elbows. We're on the elbow hang. Elbows. Yeah, outside in. Go ahead. Just watch me. Turn around and watch me since that didn't go as well as planned. Okay. So we have to go through a plank. The legs go wide and then the feet hook outside in. This is going to be much harder. So what we're going to do is squeeze our arms together, keeping our feet hooked. So we're having to push down strongly through our pelvis. Go ahead and face me and I'll just stay here and I'll guide you through it. Go ahead and face me, Deborah. Just doing that so we didn't pop. So we're going to go back into our elbow hang.
So, oh yeah, I need to reach back.
Stay lifted. Lift, 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 lift. Lift your upper body.
Lift?
Yeah, you can't get there from there. You have to stay lifted. So feet are on the ground. Lift, 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 elbow hang. Yeah, good. Now walk your feet to the back of the mat. Stay lifted. No, no, no. You don't ever drop your head. You can't drop your head and do a cobra at the same time. Yeah, so plank, and then feet are wide. Don't hop. Look up. Yeah, so plank.
I can't do plank.
Well, your hands have to be flexed, first of all. So flex this up here. Up here.
I can't do it.
It's okay. Yeah, this is tomorrow's practice anyhow. I'm just trying to show you guys the pivot points. Just
Where do I take my legs?
you hook them outside in. Yeah, bend the knees a lot. Yeah, pull your heels down towards your butt. That's it. Now squeeze the leg loops onto the shoulders. That's it. I call these Incredible Hulk push-ups because they're so strong, right? They're really strong. And then go ahead and slide into elbows again. Keep your gaze up, right? Press the back of your head into an invisible wall and squeeze. Yeah, that's intense, right? So that's how we get prepped for Superfly. Bring the feet back down to the ground, slide into the elbows, and walk it forward, walk it forward.
So the plank pose, that's where I didn't get it. Like,
Well, it's because you were, yeah, could you just, well, do a plank on the ground. Do it, come back to the ground again. It is really helpful, trust me, because like, feel what your body is like in this plank pose, okay? Your legs are straight out behind you, your pelvis is pressing down, and your upper body is lifted.
right,
You were crunched at the waist,
right.
you were bending at the waist, and then you were bending your knees.
Right.
There's no way to extend once you've lost it. And your hands weren't flexed up by your shoulders, they were down by your waist.
Okay.
So
So
then
I totally do.
yeah, so at that point, there's no sense in trying to get into the next pose because we lost the alignment. And if we don't have alignment, we're not gonna have the strength to lift, right? It's like, it's easier to lift into a push-up if you use your hands,
Uh-huh.
right? And it's easier to come into a cobra if you use your pelvis. If your pelvis is back, you can't lift up,
Well,
right? It has to be in a straight line. That's why we call it a plank, right? So if you'd like to try it again, we can slow it down. We don't even have to get into Superfly today. We can save it for tomorrow and just practice this.
I would just like to have some support. That's all I'm asking for. Like,
Yeah.
to feel it in
Yeah.
where I lose my long line.
Yes, I'm going to come over and put hands on you after you try it one more time with the instructions that I just gave. Yeah, and it's good because otherwise we're going to kiss anyhow. So
Okay.
it's good. So let me show you.
I really want to do it.
Yeah, I want you to remember what that felt like on the ground.
Yes.
And I want you to do it. So
Yes.
watch me again. Don't do it yet, and I'll come put my hands on you. So I have to stay lifted. First you went like this, and I said you can't get there from there.
Okay.
Yeah. As soon as you,
lifted.
am I in a plank?
No.
No, you can't get the plank from there. So I was like, you can't get the plank from there. You have to keep your pelvis pressing forward and the upper body lifted. My feet are down, my head is up. Okay? When I hold on to these and I'm at the elbows, then I walk my feet back. My head has to stay level with the earth.
Got it.
And then my feet can come to a plank. Then I can bend my knees. Now that my knees are bent, I still keep my head trying to aim towards the garage door, not down.
Yeah.
See, my hands came to my waist.
Yeah, got it.
That's where you were.
Okay.
Okay? Your hands have to be flexed in order to lift. Then you have a chance of lifting the chest. Only then. If we miss one little step, we can't go to the next
It's a
one.
lot of moving parts.
Well, of course. It's a whole sequence. And that helps us come into Superman. Okay. Let me go ahead and do some hands-on. One step at a time. Let's try not to skip steps. Okay? So never look down. First step is let's just practice the alignment principles. Let's come back and do it together, Deborah.
Okay.
Alignment principle number 1 is spine. This is the most important one. If we don't get anything else from this whole experience, we're gonna so feel our plumb line. If we look down, we lost our plumb line. That's why I always say look up. That's how important it is, right? So even here, when we press down with our arms, we don't lose our plumb line. We are paying attention to the crown of the head, and we're paying attention to our tailbone. We can press our hips forward and still keep our plumb line. Let's just practice that. We have to be on the balls of the feet. Balls of the feet, press the hips forward. Keep your plumb line. That's it. That's beautiful, Deborah. You got it. Can you feel it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Press your hips forward all the way. That's it. Beautiful. Okay. Now keep your plumb line. Reach back and grab for the leg loops. Do not head dive. Yeah.
Okay, I have to let go.
Well, you let go to reach for the leg loops, but keep lifted in the upper body as if you're in a
Got it.
cobra. Yes. Keep your lift. Beautiful. Get the leg loops on the elbows. Flex. Yes. That was where you lost it, right? They were down by the waist. Now you flex. Okay. Walk your feet back.
Walk.
Nope. You just lost your plank. Walk your feet back, but
Walk
keep.
your feet back.
Yeah, but without pushing your hips.
Oh, walk like that.
Yeah. So you have to keep pushing the hips forward.
Yes.
Okay. So the reason why you couldn't keep walking to the back of the mat, because you need to be right underneath your plumb line. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to help you lift because the swing rode up a little too high. But
Yeah,
don't
that's-
worry about it. I want you to keep your flex.
Okay.
Okay? So you don't keep the back of the neck either because the crown of the head is what we're focusing on. So from here, I want you to just try and float.
Float.
No, straight legs. Do not bend your knees yet. Float. Okay,
Wow.
great. That is plank.
Wow.
Well, if you lift your head, your feet are going to come down.
Okay, so there?
Yes.
Okay,
So lift your feet. What do you press? Your
my pelvis.
Yes. Now bend your knees. Nope, don't drop them to the ground. So you just lost your plank. So
Yeah.
come back one more time.
So it doesn't feel like I'm strong enough.
Well, you are.